Hi, my name is Nathan Finney. I'm the Account Services Manager at First Alliance, and one of the many things that I do here is I actually help protect members from fraud, the biggest being check fraud. This is what check fraud is. So basically you're given a check that you believe is valid, and by the time that you find out that it might not be an actual good check, you're left with a negative balance and a loss. Here are some ways that you might be able to check if a check is fraudulent. One of the first things that we look for is to look at the font on an actual check and make sure that all the writing is the same throughout the check. Common things that are also in those checks is to check for misspellings. You'd be surprised, but most fraudulent checks have some sort of misspelling on them. Another way that you can check to see if a check is good is to look at the routing number. You can actually go on a website on Google and ask for routing numbers, and you can put a routing number in to see if it matches the bank that it was drawn off of. A lot of times people are using fake checks with another financial's routing number to confuse the financial. So that's another great way to protect yourself, is to look up that routing number. Another thing to look for is to see if the check is drawn off of a different state, and look at the date of the check. If you're given a check that is from Oregon and you live in Minnesota and it's dated for today, how does that get there in the same day? So just make sure you're looking at those items on the check to help protect yourself. So we've just discussed a little bit about check fraud, but let's talk about the actual scams that are associated with check fraud. One of them is mystery shopping. Somebody might contact you and say they want you to be a mystery shopper for them, so they send you a check. The check could actually be a valid check off of another financial that they've already scammed. So they ask you to deposit that check, but then to take the funds and send them off to them, which by wire or person-to-person app payments, once you've sent that money off, you can't get that money back. And by the time that's gone through the clearinghouse for the financial, and we find out that it's a bad check, the money's already gone. So you're holding your account liable for that amount because you accepted that deposit. Another one that goes around is being a personal assistant, that they're trying to hire you off of a website, and they're going to send you some money, but they need you to possibly send them back something in the form of a gift card or a money order to get some of the first restrictions off of your employment. So they ask you to go get those gift cards at local convenience stores. They're pretty common, and they ask you to give you the PIN numbers off of those cards. And once you've done that, the communication stops, they've received the money, and once the check comes back, again, you're holding your account liable, and that account goes negative and you owe those funds. So it's a very scary situation. Another common one that we saw about a year ago that was really unfortunate is car decal wraps. This kind of came out during COVID, but man, people are saying that, hey, I'll send you some money. I want you to go to this local retailer to get your car wrapped so you can drive your car around for us to advertise for our company. They send the check out to you and you deposit it, and it's probably a good amount of money, $2,000 to $4,000. You put it into your account, you try to make some arrangements. They tell you that they need this certain amount to go back to them because they've ordered it instead of you, and you're caught holding the money again. Overpayment scams are a big one that's been hitting financials also. So basically, you might be selling something online for yourself that you think everything's great. You sold a car on Craigslist, right? Awesome. The member sends you a check for that actual car, but he sends more than you're actually wanting for the vehicle. So what do? Well, then they start a phone call or email to you to say, hey, I'm sorry, I submitted too much. Can you send me the difference back? Because I really need those funds. And they really play on your emotions because you're excited that you sold something, and they're worried that they sent so much, or so they are, right? Once that you send those funds back, and that's usually through PayPal or a website that you send the funds back to them, they've actually gotten those funds, and all of a sudden that check went bad in your account, and you've sent them some money. So you're left holding the bag on that situation also. So what do you do if you've been a victim of fraud or you've received a check that you believe is fraudulent? I would recommend that you immediately contact your financial institution, because we have some things that we can put in place before the funds are actually drawn out of the account. One of them being we can put a hold on the account. A lot of times they're trying to get you to use a Cash App or a wire, and they want you to send the funds. Don't do that. Contact the financial. What do you do if you've already done that? Now, the financial institution does not have a lot of recourse when it comes to that kind of fraud and that you've sent out the funds. But if you've used a Cash App or a person-to-person payment, contact them directly to let them know. If not for you, for the next person, because they actually flag the individual that is requesting the funds that you've sent it to be part of a national directory of fraudulent activity. So what we try to do with our individuals that have been victims of fraud is we understand how good these people are. So what we try to do is work with you. We'll work on how to get your account into a positive situation. We'll work on some kind of payment plan. We're here for you, so we want to help you, and we know that this is a hard situation that is not fun to deal with. Again, my name is Nathan Finney, the Account Services Manager at First Alliance Credit Union, and I hope that you found this information helpful.